I was standing in a private karaoke room with my 8 best friends, wearing a sparkly bride-to-be sash, when the door burst open. My mother walked in holding a to-go bag from Panera and a bottle of water. "There you are," she said, like she'd been searching for a lost child. "I brought you dinner. You need to eat something before you drink." My maid of honor, Jessica, stared at her in shock. "Mrs. Anderson? How did you know we were here?" "I tracked her phone," my mother said casually, setting the food down on the table. Then she turned to my friends with a smile. "Thank you, girls, for watching her tonight. She needs adult supervision, honestly. She tends to make poor choices when she's had a few drinks." I was 29 years old, getting married in 3 weeks, and my mother had just crashed my bachelorette party to tell my friends I couldn't be trusted alone. What happened after my mother left that room would force me to make the hardest decision of my life. Stay with me, because this story is about the moment you realize your parent will never see you as an adult, and what you do when they try to control your wedding day. Before we continue, if you've ever had a parent embarrass you in front of your friends, hit that subscribe button right now. Your support means everything to me. And comment below, has a family member ever infantilized you as an adult? Let's talk about it. Now back to my story. Let me start from the beginning of that night. My name is Claire Anderson. I'm 29 years old, and I work as a dental hygienist. 3 weeks before this incident, my fiancé David proposed to me after 5 years of dating. We'd set a wedding date for June 15th. Small ceremony, 75 guests, simple and sweet. My maid of honor, Jessica, planned my bachelorette party. Nothing wild, just dinner, drinks, and karaoke with 8 of my closest friends. We started at a nice Italian restaurant at 6 p.m. Wine, pasta, laughter. It was perfect. Around 8 p.m., we moved to a karaoke bar downtown. Jessica had reserved a private room for us. It was decorated with pink balloons, a bride tribe banner, and a table full of snacks and drinks. I was having the time of my life. We were singing terrible pop songs, taking silly photos, and celebrating my upcoming wedding. I'd had 2 glasses of wine. That's it. I was buzzed, but completely in control. We were in the middle of singing "I Want to Dance with Somebody" when the door opened. At first, I thought it was a waitress. But then I saw her face, my mother. She was holding a Panera bag and looking around the room with concern on her face. "Mom?" I said, pulling off my headphones. "What are you doing here?" "There you are." She walked straight to me like nothing was weird about this. "I brought you dinner. You need to eat something before you drink." My friends had all stopped singing. The music was still playing, but nobody was paying attention to it anymore. Jessica stepped forward. "Mrs. Anderson, how did you know we were here?" "I tracked her phone," my mother said, like it was the most normal thing in the world. "You tracked my phone?" I repeated, my face burning with embarrassment. "Of course. You didn't tell me where you'd be, and I needed to know you were safe." "Mom, I'm 29 years old. I don't need to tell you where I am every second of the day." She ignored me and turned to my friends. "Thank you girls for watching her tonight. She needs adult supervision, honestly. She tends to make poor choices when she's had a few drinks." The room went silent. My friends looked at each other uncomfortably. I wanted to disappear. "Mom, I've had 2 glasses of wine. 2. I'm completely fine." "That's what you always say. Then you end up making mistakes." "What mistakes? What are you talking about?" "Remember spring break your junior year of college? You got so drunk you called me crying at 2 a.m. That was 8 years ago, and I was 21. Everyone drinks too much in college." My mother pulled me aside, away from my friends. "Claire, I'm just trying to protect you. You're getting married in 3 weeks. You need to be responsible." "I am being responsible. I'm having a nice dinner with friends. This is completely normal." "Just eat the sandwich I brought and drink water. No more alcohol tonight." "Mom, you need to leave. This is my bachelorette party. You weren't invited." Her face fell. "I'm your mother. I'm always invited." "Not to this. Please go." "Fine, but I'm staying in the parking lot. Text me every hour so I know you're okay." "I'm not doing that." "Claire." "Mom, go, please." She looked hurt but finally left. The second the door closed behind her, I burst into tears. Jessica hugged me immediately. "Oh my God, Claire, what was that?" "That was my mother, being her usual controlling self." "She tracked your phone? That's insane." "She's been tracking my phone since I was 16. I've asked her to stop a million times. She won't." My friend Rachel spoke up. "Wait, you're 29 and your mother still tracks your location?" "Yes. And you let her?" "I've tried to turn it off. She calls me in a panic, shows up at my apartment, makes my life miserable until I turn it back on. It's easier to just leave it on." My friends looked concerned. My friend Megan said gently, "Claire, that's not normal. That's really controlling." "I know, but it's how she is. She's always been like this." Jessica grabbed my shoulders. "Has she always been this bad? Or is it getting worse because of the wedding?" I thought about it. Both. She's always been overprotective. But since I got engaged, it's gotten worse. How much worse? I took a deep breath. "She calls David's phone if I don't answer mine within 10 minutes. She's insisted on being included in every wedding planning decision. She tried to invite 40 extra people to our 75-person wedding. She calls me 5 times a day to check in. And now, apparently, she's crashing my bachelorette party." "Claire, this is a problem," Rachel said. "I know, but I don't know how to fix it." We tried to continue the party, but the energy was off. My mother had ruined it. Around 10 p.m., I got a text from her. "Are you okay? You haven't texted me." I showed the text to Jessica. She shook her head. "You're not seriously going to respond, are you?" "If I don't, she'll show up again." "Claire, you're an adult. You don't owe her minute-by-minute updates." But I texted back anyway. "I'm fine. Stop worrying." She responded immediately. "When will you be home?" "I don't know. Midnight, maybe." "That's late. You have work tomorrow." "It's Saturday tomorrow. I don't work on Saturdays." "Still, you need rest. Wedding planning is stressful." I put my phone away and tried to enjoy the rest of the night, but my mother's words kept echoing in my head. She needs adult supervision. It wasn't the first time she'd said something like that about me. It wasn't even the 10th time. Growing up, my mother had always been overprotective. I wasn't allowed to go to sleepovers. I couldn't date until I was 18. I had a strict 10 p.m. curfew through high school, even senior year. When I went to college, she called me every single day, sometimes twice a day. If I didn't answer, she'd call my roommate. When I got my first apartment at 23, she insisted on having a key for emergencies. She used that key to show up unannounced at least once a week. When I started dating David at 24, she interrogated him for an hour the first time they met. She asked about his job, his family, his finances, his plans for the future. David passed her test, thankfully, but she still called him regularly to check on Claire. Now at 29, I was getting married, and my mother's control was getting worse. She'd insisted on coming to every wedding dress appointment. She'd cried when I chose a dress she didn't like, so I ended up buying the one she preferred instead. She'd taken over the guest list, adding dozens of people I barely knew. She'd questioned every decision David and I made. The venue was too expensive. The flowers were too simple. The menu wasn't fancy enough. She'd asked to see our wedding vows before the ceremony to make sure they're appropriate. She'd even suggested that she should walk me down the aisle instead of my father because I'm the one who raised you. My father had shut that down, thank God. But the bachelorette party crash was the final straw. When I got home that night around 11:30 p.m., I found my mother sitting in her car outside my apartment building. "Mom, what are you doing here?" "Making sure you got home safely." "You followed me home?" "I was waiting in the parking lot, just in case you needed me." "I told you I'd be fine." "Claire, you'd been drinking. I couldn't trust that you'd make good choices." "I had 2 glasses of wine over 5 hours. I was completely sober by the time I drove home." Still, alcohol impairs judgment. I wanted to scream, "Go home, Mom, please. I'm fine. I'm safe. I'm in my apartment. You can stop worrying." "I'll stop worrying when you're married and settled down with David. Then he can watch over you." "I don't need anyone to watch over me. I'm an adult." "Adults still need guidance, Claire, especially young adults like you." I'm 29. I'm not a young adult. I'm a full-grown adult with a career and a fiancé and a life. You'll always be my little girl. And there it was, the phrase she'd said my entire life, the excuse for every boundary violation, every invasion of privacy, every controlling behavior. I'll always be your little girl. The next morning, I went to David's apartment. I needed to talk to someone who would understand. David opened the door in sweatpants and a t-shirt, holding a cup of coffee. "Morning, babe. How was the bachelorette party?" I walked in and immediately started crying. "Whoa, what happened?" He pulled me into a hug. I told him everything. My mother crashing the party, the tracking, the adult supervision comment, her waiting outside my apartment. David's jaw clenched. "She waited outside your apartment? All night?" "For 3 hours, until I got home." "Claire, that's not normal. That's stalking." "She's my mother. It's not stalking." "Yes, it is. Just because she's your mother doesn't give her the right to track your every move." I sat down on his couch. "I don't know what to do. The wedding is in 3 weeks. If I confront her now, she'll ruin everything." David sat next to me. "She's already ruining everything. Claire, we need to talk about something." "What?" "Your mother has been calling me. A lot." "I know. I'm sorry. She does that." "No, I mean a lot. She called me 6 times yesterday while you were at your bachelorette party." My stomach dropped. 6 times? "Yes. Asking if I knew where you were, if I thought you were safe, if I was worried about you drinking too much. She even asked if I thought we should postpone the wedding until you were more mature." "She said what?" "She thinks you're not ready to get married. She said you're too impulsive and emotional." I felt sick. "And what did you say?" "I told her you're 29 years old and more than ready. But Claire, she's not going to stop. Even after we're married, she's going to keep doing this." "I'll talk to her." "You've been talking to her your whole life. It hasn't worked. She doesn't respect your boundaries because you don't enforce them." "How am I supposed to enforce them? She's my mother. I can't just cut her off." "Why not?" I stared at him. "Because she's my mother." "So, that doesn't give her unlimited access to your life. You're allowed to have boundaries with your parents." "But she'll be devastated. And you're devastated right now. Your bachelorette party was ruined. Your friends are worried about you. I'm worried about you. Your mother's feelings are not more important than your well-being." David was right, but the guilt was overwhelming. "I don't know if I can do it," I whispered. "Do what?" "Set boundaries. Stand up to her. She'll make me feel terrible." "She already makes you feel terrible. The difference is, with boundaries, at least you'll have some peace." I leaned into David's shoulder. "What if she refuses to come to the wedding?" "Then she doesn't come. We'll get married anyway." "What if she turns my family against me?" "Then we'll know who really cares about you. Claire, I love you, and I want to marry you, but I can't watch your mother control your life, our life, forever. Something has to change." "I know. So what are you going to do?" I took a deep breath. "I'm going to talk to her, set real boundaries, and stick to them. Even if she gets upset?" "Even if she gets upset." David kissed my forehead. "I'm proud of you." But I wasn't sure I could actually do it. I called my mother that afternoon and asked her to meet me at a coffee shop. Neutral territory, public place, witnesses. She arrived 15 minutes late carrying shopping bags. "Sorry, honey. I was picking up a few things for the wedding. I found the most adorable table decorations. Mom, we need to talk." She sat down, immediately defensive. "Is this about last night? I already apologized." "You didn't apologize. You texted me, 'Sorry if I embarrassed you,' which isn't an apology." "Well, I'm sorry. Is that better?" "Not really. Because you're not actually sorry. You think what you did was justified." "It was justified! You were drinking and I was worried." "I had 2 glasses of wine over 5 hours. That's completely normal adult behavior." "For some adults, but you're not good with alcohol, Claire. You know that." "Based on what? One incident 8 years ago?" "Based on the fact that you make impulsive decisions when you've been drinking. Name one. One impulsive decision I've made as an adult while drinking." She opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. "Well, I'm sure there are examples. There aren't, because I'm a responsible adult who knows her limits. But you refuse to see that. My mother's face hardened. Why are you attacking me? I'm your mother. I'm trying to help you. You're not helping, you're controlling, and it needs to stop. Controlling? I'm not controlling. Mom, you track my phone. You show up uninvited to my events. You call David to check on me. You waited outside my apartment for 3 hours last night. That's controlling. That's being a concerned mother. No, it's not. Concerned mothers trust their adult daughters to make their own decisions. Controlling mothers monitor their every move. She looked genuinely hurt. I can't believe you're saying this to me after everything I've done for you. I'm grateful for everything you've done, but I'm 29 years old. I need you to let me be an adult. I do let you be an adult. You told my friends I need adult supervision. Because you do. You're impulsive and emotional, and you don't always think things through. According to who? You? Because everyone else in my life seems to think I'm doing just fine. They don't know you like I do. You don't know me at all. You know the version of me you've created in your head, the irresponsible child who needs constant monitoring, but that's not who I am. My mother started crying. I'm just trying to protect you. From what? I have a job, I pay my bills, I'm in a loving relationship. I'm getting married to a wonderful man. What exactly do you think I need protection from? From making mistakes, from getting hurt, from the world. Mom, I'm going to make mistakes. That's part of life, and you can't protect me from everything, nor should you try. But you're my daughter, and I always will be. But I'm also my own person, with my own life and my own choices, and you need to respect that. She wiped her eyes. So what are you saying? You don't want me involved in your life anymore? I'm saying I need boundaries, starting now. What kind of boundaries? I pulled out my phone and opened the location sharing app. First, I'm turning off location sharing. You will no longer track my phone. But what if something happens to you? Then I'll call you, or David will, or 911. But you don't need real-time access to my location. I turned it off. My mother looked like I'd just slapped her. Second, you can't call David to check on me. If you want to know where I am or how I'm doing, you ask me directly. But what if you don't answer? Then you wait, like normal people do. 1 call is okay, 5 calls in an hour is not. How am I supposed to know if you're okay? You assume I'm okay unless I tell you otherwise. That's how trust works, Mom. She was quiet. Third, you can't show up at my apartment or my events uninvited. If you want to see me, you ask first. And if I say no, you respect that. So, I need permission to see my own daughter? Yes, because I'm an adult with my own schedule and my own boundaries. This is ridiculous. No, Mom, this is normal. This is how healthy adult relationships work, and if you can't respect these boundaries, then I'll have to create more distance between us. You're going to cut me off? I'm going to protect myself. If that means limiting our contact until you can respect my boundaries, then yes. My mother stood up abruptly. I can't believe you're doing this. Right before your wedding, after everything I've done to help you plan it. That's another thing. The wedding is mine and David's, not yours. We appreciate your input, but we make the final decisions. So my opinions don't matter? Your opinions matter, but they're not more important than our preferences. She grabbed her shopping bags. Fine, plan your wedding however you want. Don't come crying to me when things go wrong. Mom, no, Claire, you've made yourself clear. You don't need me. You don't want my help. So I'll just stay out of your way. She walked out of the coffee shop. I sat there, shaking, wondering if I'd just made a terrible mistake. For the next week, my mother didn't call, didn't text. Complete silence. My father called once. Your mother is very upset. I know, Dad, but I had to set boundaries. I understand. But maybe you could apologize? Just to smooth things over? I'm not apologizing for asking to be treated like an adult. He sighed. Your mother loves you. She's just having trouble letting go. I know. But that's her problem to work through, not mine. My father didn't argue, but I could tell he was disappointed. My younger brother Tyler texted me. What did you do to Mom? She's been crying all week. I explained the situation. He responded, Yeah, she can be controlling, but cutting her off before your wedding seems harsh. I didn't cut her off. I just set boundaries. Same thing to her. Was it harsh? Had I gone too far? I brought it up in therapy. Yes, I was in therapy. Had been for 2 years. My therapist, Dr. Martinez, had been helping me work through my relationship with my mother. You did the right thing, Dr. Martinez said. Setting boundaries is not cruel. It's necessary. But she's devastated. She's not devastated because of your boundaries. She's devastated because she's losing control. There's a difference. What if she doesn't come to my wedding? Then you'll have your answer about whether she can respect your boundaries. But Claire, you can't set boundaries with one hand and take them back with the other. You have to stand firm. Even if it hurts her? Even if it hurts her, because not setting boundaries is hurting you, and your well-being matters too. David was supportive. He checked in with me every day. How are you holding up? I feel guilty, but also relieved. That's normal. You've never had space from your mother before. It's going to feel weird at first. What if she never speaks to me again? Then she's choosing her need for control over her relationship with you, and that's on her. With 2 weeks until the wedding, my mother finally called. Hello? Claire, it's Mom. Hi. Awkward silence. Then, I've been thinking about what you said, about boundaries. Okay. And I talked to a counselor. She said I might have some control issues. I was shocked. You went to a counselor? Your father suggested it. He said if I didn't get help, I'd lose you. And I don't want to lose you. My eyes filled with tears. I don't want to lose you either, Mom. I know I've been too involved, too worried, too everything. I just love you so much, and I'm scared of something happening to you. I know, but Mom, I need you to trust me. I need you to believe that I can take care of myself. I'm trying. It's hard, but I'm trying. That's all I'm asking. Just try. So, am I still invited to your wedding? I laughed through my tears. Of course you're invited. You're my mother. Even though I crashed your bachelorette party? Even though you crashed my bachelorette party. She laughed too. A real, genuine laugh. I'm sorry about that. It was inappropriate. It really was. Can we start over? With boundaries this time? I'd like that. My wedding day was beautiful. Sunny, 75 degrees, perfect weather. My mother was there, of course. She helped me get ready. She cried when she saw me in my dress. She hugged me and told me I was beautiful, and she didn't try to control anything. When the photographer suggested a different pose, my mother stayed quiet. When I decided to change my bouquet at the last minute, my mother supported my choice. When David's best man gave a slightly inappropriate toast, my mother laughed instead of looking horrified. She was trying, really trying. At one point during the reception, she pulled me aside. I'm proud of you, Claire, for standing up to me, for setting boundaries. It can't have been easy. It wasn't, but it was necessary. I know. And I'm sorry I made it necessary. I should have trusted you years ago. You can start trusting me now. I will. I promise. She hugged me. A real warm hug. Not a controlling hug, just a mother hugging her daughter. Later, Jessica pulled me aside. Your mom seems different. She's trying. It's a work in progress, but she's trying. I'm glad. You deserve to have a healthy relationship with her. Thanks for supporting me through all of this. Always. That's what maids of honor are for. As David and I danced our first dance, I looked around the room, at my family, at my friends, at my new husband, and I felt free. Free from the constant monitoring, free from the guilt, free from the control. I was finally, truly, an adult. And my mother was finally, slowly, accepting that. It's been 6 months since my wedding. My relationship with my mother is better. Not perfect, but better. She still slips up sometimes. She'll call twice in a row if I don't answer. She'll ask questions that feel invasive. But now, I call her out gently. "Mom, that's pushing a boundary." And she backs off. "Sorry, old habits." She's been going to therapy regularly. She's working on her anxiety and her need for control. We have dinner together once a week. We talk on the phone every few days. But it's on my terms now, and she respects that. David and I are happy. We're building our life together, without interference. My mother asked recently if we were thinking about having kids. I tensed up, waiting for the lecture about biological clocks and family planning, but she just smiled and said, "Whenever you're ready, no pressure. I trust you to make the right choice for you." I almost cried, because that's all I'd ever wanted, for her to trust me. Setting boundaries with my mother was the hardest thing I've ever done, but it was also the best thing. Because now, instead of a controlling mother-daughter relationship, we have a healthy one, based on respect, on trust, on mutual understanding. I'm 29 years old, I'm married, I have a career and a life and independence, and I no longer need adult supervision. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Your support truly means the world to me. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. I love reading every single one of them. Each comment inspires me to keep creating stories for you. See you next time.